and I'd sooner be a has-been than a never was at all. Oh-de-day, oh-de-day, oh-de-day. There was movement at the station, for the word had passed around that the colt from Old Regret had got away and had joined the Wild Bush horses. He was worth £1,000, so all the cracks had gathered to the fray. All the tried and noted riders from the stations near and far had mustered at the homestead overnight. For the bushmen love hard riding where the Wild Bush horses are, and the stock horse snuffs the battle with delight. There was Harrison, who made his pile when Pardon won the cup, and the old man with his hair as white as snow. But few could ride beside him when his blood was fairly up. He would go wherever horse or man could go. And Clancy of the Overflow came down to lend a hand. No better horseman ever held the reins, for never horse could throw him while the saddle girths would stand, and he learned to ride while droving on the plains. And one was there, a stripling, on a small and weedy beast. He was something like a racehorse undersized, with a touch of time or pony, 3 parts thoroughbred at least, and such as are by mountain horsemen prized. He was hard and tough and wiry, just the sort that won't say die. There was courage in his quick, impatient tread, and he bore the badge of gameness in his bright and fiery eye, and the proud and lofty carriage of his head. But still so slight and weedy, one would doubt his power to stay, and the old man said, "That horse will never do. For a long and tiring gallop, lad, you'd better stop away. Those hills are far too rough for such as you." So he waited sad and wistful, only Clancy stood his friend. "Oh, I think we ought to let him come," he said, "and I warrant he'll be with us when he's wanted at the end, for both his horse and he are mountain bred." Oh, he hails from Snowy River, up by Kosciuszko's side, where the hills are twice as steep and twice as rough, where are horses who strike firelight from the flintstones every stride, and the man that holds his own is good enough. And the Snowy River riders on the mountains make their home, where the river runs those giant hills between. I have seen full many horsemen since I first commenced to roam, but no way yet such horsemen have I seen. So he went, they found the horses by the big mimosa clump. They raced away towards the mountain's brow, and the old man gave his orders, "Boys, go at 'em from the jump. No use to try for fancy riding now. And Clancy, you must wheel them, try and wheel them to the right, and ride boldly, lad, and never fear the spills. For never yet was rider that could keep that mob in sight, if once they gain the shelter of those hills." So Clancy rode to wheel them. He was racing on the wing, where the best and boldest riders take their place. And he raced his stock horse past them, and he made the rangers ring with his stock whip as he met them face to face. Then they halted for a moment while he swung the dreaded lash, but they saw their well-beloved mountain full in view, and they charged beneath the stock whip with a sharp and sudden dash, and off into the mountain scrub they flew. Then fast the horsemen followed, where the gorges deep and black resounded to the thunder of their tread, and the stock whips woke the echoes, and they fiercely answered back from cliffs and crags that beetled overhead. And upward, ever upward, the wild horses held their way, where Currajong and Mountain Ash grew wide. And the old man muttered fiercely, "We may bid the mob good day. No man could hold them down the other side." When they reached the mountain summit, even Clancy took a pull. It well might make the boldest hold their breath. The wild hop scrub grew thickly and the hidden ground was full of wombat holes, and any slip was death. But the man from Snowy River let the pony have his head, and he swung his stock whip round and gave a cheer. And he raced him down the mountain like a torrent down its bed, while the others stood and watched in very fear. He sent the flintstones flying, but the pony kept his feet. Oh, he cleared the fallen timber in his stride. And the man from Snowy River never shifted in his seat. It was grand to see that mountain horseman ride. Through the stringy barks and saplings on the rough and broken ground, down the hillside at a racing pace he went. And he never drew the bridle till he landed safe and sound at the bottom of the terrible descent. He was right among the horses as they climbed the farther hill, and the watchers on the mountain standing mute saw him ply the stock whip fiercely. He was right among them still as he raced across the clearing in pursuit. Then they lost him for a moment where two mountain gullies met. In the ranges, oh, but a final glimpse reveals on a dim and distant hillside the wild horses racing yet, with the man from Snowy River at their heels. And he ran them single-handed till their sides were white with foam. He followed like a bloodhound on their track till they halted cowed and beaten. Then he turned their heads for home, and alone and unassisted brought them back. But his hardy mountain pony, he could scarcely raise a trot. He was blood from hip to shoulder from the spur, but his pluck was still undaunted and his courage fiery hot, for never yet was mountain horse a cur. And down by Kosciuszko, where the pine-clad ridges raise their torn and rugged battlements on high, where the air is clear as crystal and the white stars fairly blaze at midnight in the cold and frosty sky, and where around the overflow the reed beds sweep and sway to the breezes and the rolling plains are wide. Oh, the man from Snowy River is a household word today, and stockmen tell the story of his ride. 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 And stockmen tell the story of his... We've done us proud to come this far, down through the years to where we are, side by side, hand in hand. We've lived and died for this great land. We've done us proud. I sailed the sea in search of freedom. I tilled the soil for seed to grow. I built the fences to hold the cattle. I mined the earth in search of gold. I sheared the sheep of golden fleeces. I formed a union to win fair pay. I built a railroad to cross the country. I fought a war for my country's sake. for this great land. We've done us proud. I kept a home and raised a family. I taught your children as if my own. I painted pictures to show the beauty. I wrote the story.
Whenever I chance to meet some old friends on the street, they wonder, how does a man get to be this way?
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please stand?
I've always got a smiling face, anytime and any place. And every time they ask me why, I just smile and say, you've got to kiss an angel good morning and let her know you think about her when you're gone. Kiss an angel good morning and love her like the devil when you get back home. Well, people may try to guess the secret of a happiness, but some of them never learn it's a simple thing. The secret I'm speaking of is a woman and a man in love, and the answer is in this song that I always sing. You've got to kiss an angel good morning and let her know you think about her when you're gone. Kiss an angel good morning and love her like the devil when you get back home. Kiss an angel good morning and let her know you think about her when you're gone. Kiss an angel good morning and love her like the devil when you get back home.
It comes time for the harvest. Everything I have gathered, all the roads I have travelled, all the stories shared, and the wishes longed for, all the promises given and received, every memory of my life gathers round me now, asking for their moment to be sent and shared and acknowledged. What have you learned from me? What will you remember of me? All of the seed sown will take hold in your lives, and I will blossom again. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not only death which calls us to get together today, but life. Today we honour the life and acknowledge the passing of someone who meant so much to each person here, Maxwell Thomas Denny. And by balancing the sadness and sense of loss with a celebration of the life that was lived and is now ended, is our purpose today. My name's Rennie Nisi O'Connell, and with me today are Jessie and Lucas, and as the staff of Parkside, we're privileged to have been entrusted with the care of Max after his death and of conducting his service of farewell here at Parkside. We met in this very place just 6 years ago in July 2019 to farewell Max's beloved wife Jodie. At the conclusion of this service, the family warmly invite you to head back to Max's second home at the Ridgely Bowls Club for a cuppa, maybe a coldie and a bit of a catch-up as we continue in remembering Max's life. And for those joining us by live streaming, we thank you for taking the time to honour Max in the quietness of your own space. Funerals are at their essence a time of storytelling. And today stories will flow. Stories that capture the essence of the man that Max was. Stories that make us smile, remember things long forgotten, and remind us of an era that is past. Maxwell Thomas Denny made his grand entrance into the world on Thursday the 26th of June 1941 in Bothwell, Tasmania. He was the second son born into the family of Keith and Joyce Denny. He had a big brother Charlie, and after Max there was Dick, Joff, Ken, Beverly and Ray. The family later moved to the northwest, taking up residence in Sprent and Diana, and later Ridgely. But I'm not the best person to tell Max's story. His son Wayne and daughter Joanne have written the story of their dad's life, and I'm going to invite them forward, along with Sarah, who's written a beautiful poem, and then there is a tribute to read. So thank you, Wayne and Joanne and Sarah.
Good morning and welcome to family and friends. Just before we get underway with a few stories about Max, just on behalf of Joanne and I, we'd like to thank some special people. Thank you.
So firstly, I'd like to say thank you to Bevy for all you did for Dad, from cooking meals for him after Mum passed away and helping pack up his house that he built and lived in for 58 years after it sold, then to dropping everything to come and give us a hand, staying with him during his last days. Also, thank you to Barry and Helene for being beautiful friends, both to Dad and Mum, and for all you did for Dad after Mum passed away, especially when he started to lose his sight to glaucoma. I couldn't have done without you both. The laughs and fun times will stay as beautiful memories forever. To dear Algie and Shirley, you and Dad have been mates for a very long time. So thank you for being there every Friday without fail. To read out the bowls teams to him, taking him to the bowls club for a beer, then out to your place to dine on the beautiful food Shirley cooked for him. To Dad's dear friends Des and Colleen in Umina Park, on behalf of the family, thank you so very much for your kindness and the care you gave to Dad, whether it was stirring Dad up or bringing him little things to make his life that little bit better. We'd like to also thank Dick, Ray and Bronwyn, Ken and Judy, Hayden and Julie, and Barbara and Graham. Thanks also to Pat and Dale, Bevan, Tony, Glenn and the Norton Smiths for visiting Dad. I'm sure there are many more that have visited Dad since Mum passed away, so thank you to you all. Last but not least, to all the nurses, carers, cleaners and food deliverers at Umina Park. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for all the care and support you gave Dad during his time there.
Just one other thank you to Joanne. You've been amazing. You've been a rock with your strength and courage and your unwavering commitment throughout this whole process. Doing so much for Dad. Thank you. Maxwell Thomas Denny, born 26th of June 1941 at Bothwell. Acker Max, Maxie, Martin, the manager, and Maximillionaire. Went to school at Culbrook, Rihanna and Sprent. The Denny family moved to the Ridgely area in around about 1957. Max was 16 and as soon as they got to Ridgely, straight into work, helping out on the farm with a full-time job. A workaholic in his day. One of Max's first jobs was at the Burnie Council, I think with his brother Richard, on the garbage truck. Then they'd go back home and work on the farm. I don't think working at the council and a workaholic should be used in the same sentence, though. He also worked at AWPM, AFH, CH and MH Sergeant's store at Ridgeley, and farming with Gary McNabb, who recently also passed away last week. Whilst working full-time, he was always looking for something to do or helping someone out. And then he would be cutting firewood, be carting in hay, he'd be digging potatoes. Max was always on the go, providing for his family. As most of us know, Max dedicated a huge amount of his personal time to 3 sporting clubs at the Ridgeley community, where he received life membership at those 3 clubs. First up, the Ridgeley Footy Club, started playing in 1959, played 263 games. He played in the 64 and 65 premiership sides. Then he thought he'd go okay as a coach, so he coached the reserves for a couple of years, and they also won a flag in 1972, his first year of coaching. I suppose that's why he gave us so much advice during footy. I think there's a lot in the room that's received a fair bit of advice from Max over the years. He served as club treasurer for 3 years. He was a member of the committee for over 10, and you wouldn't believe it, he was a goal umpire for 6. And I'll bet you he didn't make a mistake. He was a hard-working member of the footy club. He loved the Ridgeley Footy Club. I remember back in the day when Max had to have the car parked by around about 9 o'clock. This is 3 hours before game time. Mum would walk up to the footy at 11 o'clock. The car was parked so no one else could get Mum's preferred parking spot to watch the Ridgeley home games. The Ridgeley Indoor Bowls Club, a foundation member. I'm sure there's some others in the room today, but you might correct me if I'm wrong. The club was formed in the 1970s, and I remember when the club started, the first set of indoor bowls mats and bowls were purchased by the likes of Mum and Dad and other families. I think it was around about $200 each family put in to get this club up and running, which seemed a lot of money back in those days. The Ridgeley Outdoor Bowls Club, you name it, Max did it. He lived and breathed the Bowls Club. Committee member, bar manager, greenkeeper, a very competitive player, and like most of us, didn't like to get beat. It wasn't a game Max played for fun. He was a winner at all costs, and he won several club championships and premierships with the club. Whilst on bowls, one of his wins was in the South Burney Triples, where Max, Ted Smith, Tony Butler played Mark Knights, myself and Jeff Williams from Burney in the final. We were definitely odds on to win this final. But no, Max and his Ridgeley team, they had other ideas, beating the favourites in the end. He always reminded me of this game, and just for the record, Max played out of his arse. I think it was the best game of bowls he'd ever played. Max taught me a lot as a father, but I need to thank Max for giving me some running practice during my childhood. Max would chase me with a big stick. I don't know why. Probably made Joanne cry, I don't know, but he chased me with a big stick wanting to smack my backside. Then he finally realised one day he couldn't catch me. I used to hear him muttering a few words, but I was out of there. Thanks, Max. The fondest memories I have of Max during my childhood are the holidays down to Carlbrook with the Housey-Go families. The Housey-Go families, I think there was four girls and and I was the only guy in that group out of the kids. So Joanne had some playtime with the girls, and I had the boy time with the men on the farm and fishing. Later at Scamander, where a lot of families from the Ridgeley community congregated for their holidays, which was a great place to be around family, but swimming, fishing, golfing, and just good old family fun. Max certainly loved his time at Scamander, and you always knew there was going to be beer o'clock before lunch. Rest easy, Max. Reunited with Josie. Please look after Mum up there. We are sure she has missed you. You'll always be remembered as an honest, hard-working and do anything for anyone type of man. Thank you.
Okay. Dad, you worked hard to make mine, Wayne's and Mum's life easier. You worked as many shifts as you could at the pulp, then cut wood or dug spuds every weekend, unless you were playing football. Whatever you needed to do for us, you did. I was so lucky to have you as my dad and didn't realise just how lucky I was until much later in life. How many kids can say they had a shack at Scamander that filled every holiday? I remember getting woken up at some ungodly hour to bundle us in the car in our pyjamas so we had that extra time at the shack. You taught me to swim at the Rinklers Lagoon, where I spent every day during summer from then on as I grew up. The old caravan with a drum of hot water that was heated over the fire for us to shower under is something that makes me smile. The fishing we did up the Scamander River also brings back great memories, except for the time you had upgraded the poles you tied the boat up to from wood to aluminium, and I had to pull one of the poles out, and I dropped it and it sank. All I could hear was Dad saying, don't drop it, but I did. That was the end of me going fishing. When my daughters, Amy and Sarah, arrived, you were the most caring pop to them, showing them such love from when they were tiny babies to the women they are today. And now with your great-grandchildren, the love you have shown them will never be forgotten, and they all love you dearly. Finally, thank you, Dad, for being you and loving me as much as you have. Rest peacefully, Dad. Say good day to Mum and give her a hug. I love you. Thank you.
I'm Sarah, or to Pop, number 2 granddaughter, but I think we all know I was number 1. I was very lucky to grow up spending many days after school and in the holidays at Nan and Pop's. Pop was someone I idolised and was always with as a kid and as an adult. I know we shared a special bond and nothing can take that away. We fished together, watched Ridgeley Saints play footy, picked fruit and veggies from the garden and split wood together. Thank you for always lending a hand however you could, for working so hard for us and instilling that in me. My first job would have been getting paid by Pop in lollies or $5 and lunch to run water at the footy or sprouting spuds at Mr. Butler's. God knows how many hours I spent fishing the Scamander River with Pop, still with the same Rex Hunt rod that he brought me when I was 3. That was something that we loved doing together. I don't know who's going to judge the biggest fish caught now, but I'm annoyed the current record stands with Chris and that you told him the brim that he caught was the grandfather, the biggest you'd seen come out of the river. I was so lucky to have had 31 years with you, but really forever wouldn't have been long enough. Today I want to share a poem with you all that I've written about my special moments shared with Pop and the amazing man he was. It was so lovely to be able to reminisce and talk about all these times with Pop over his last few days here with us. We sure had some good times. For my Pop, I stand here today with a full grateful heart to honour my Pop who played such a part. In the person I am and the life that I've known, a love like his was deeply sown. My favourite person, my rock, my guide, with steady hands and arms open wide. We fished Scamander River, rod in hand, up in the boat where time would stand. We'd fish in silence, just you and me. We shared a bond that was deeper than any sea. The shack, our haven, rough and true, held laughter deep and sky so blue. Trips to the shack or cutting wood in the cold, stories repeated yet never old. Spud season came and off we'd go, hands in the dirt, working slow. In the veggie garden, side by side, you showed me patience and taught me pride. You taught me the value of working hard and finding peace in my own backyard. Those moments, still and filled with grace, are ones that time will not erase. Pop was a master with a bowl in hand, a champion on the green, always in command. But win or lose, he wore that grin because showing up was the greatest win. At the footy club, he gave his all, a quiet legend loved by all. You cheered me on in all I did, from when I was small to raising my kids, and how you loved my little two, Claire and Elkie, through and through. Great-granddaughters who lit up his days, he held them close in quiet praise. To them you were their old Pop, big and strong, with big warm cuddles and always a song. You held them close, you made them see how deep a granddad's love can be. Their great-granddad, now their guiding star, they'll always know just who you are. Pop, you were calm, strong and kind, with a heart so rare and a brilliant mind. And now, Pop, you've journeyed on to the place where love lives long, where Nanny's waiting with arms open wide, your lifelong love now by your side. Together now you both are free, a love that spans eternity. I'll miss our weekly visits, you here with me, you drinking the shandies and our cups of tea. Though you've gone, I feel you near, in every breeze you're still right here. So when I'm up the river casting out slow or digging in the soil where our spuds grow, I'll think of you with pride and grace, forever my Pop, no one can replace. Love you, Pop.
There are times when a respectful round of applause is entirely appropriate. This is one of them. It's a beautiful thing when family have such love in their hearts for someone they love that they take the time to write down their thoughts. And so I just want to thank Wayne and Joanne and Sarah. It's also a beautiful thing when families open up the photo albums, and sometimes they bring a tear and a smile. And now we're going to watch a photo slideshow of some of the events of Max's life.
I would ride on your shoulders and look out on the world, pretending I was big and tall like you. When you were there to hold me, I never was afraid. You made me feel there's nothing I can't do. If I'd spread my wings to fly when I was very small, I knew that you'd be standing by to catch me if I'd fall. You're my hero, chasing the monsters from my room, going on trips around the moon. The one who's always been there faithfully. You're
I wish that heaven had visiting hours, so I could just show up and bring the news that she's getting older. And I wish that you met her. The things that you learned from me, I got them all from you. Can I just stay a while and we'll put all the world to rights? The little ones will grow and I'll still drink your favorite wine. And soon they're going to close, but I'll see you another day. So much has changed since you've been away. I wish that heaven had visiting hours, so I could just swing by and ask your advice. What would you do in my situation? I haven't a clue how I'd even raise them. What would you do? 'Cause you always do what's right. And we just talk a while until my worries disappear. I'll tell you that I'm scared of turning out a failure. You'd say, remember that the answer's in the love that we create. So much has changed since you've been away. I wish that heaven had visiting hours, and I would ask them if I could take you home. But I know what they'd say, that it's for the best. So I will live life the way you taught me and make it on my own. I will close the door, but I will open up my heart. And everyone I love will know exactly who you are. 'Cause this is not goodbye, it is just till we meet again. So much has changed since you've been away.
We also have a tribute written by Max's cousin, Lindy Whelan, who's unable to be here today. I'm going to read it on her behalf. I got to know my cousin Max after he came to live at Umina, joining my mum, Nancy, after she had been there for a couple of months. Max and Nancy, whom Max called Nan, quickly became thicker than thieves as they had grown up together at Rihanna and had known each other their entire lives. I had never really met Max, but it soon became apparent that he had a wicked sense of humour and it tickled him to torment Mum. Mind you, Mum gave as good as she got. They were always competing with each other about who had brought great food in for them, what outings they'd had and what the best type of potato was. Max insisted it was Red Rascals. As Mum became gradually sicker, Max watched over her, and it was clear that he loved her deeply. It gave me so much comfort to have him there, and I also came to love my cousin Max. I will never forget your cheeky sense of humour, Max, the support you gave Mum, and I feel blessed to have had the chance to get to know you. Rest in peace now, Maxie. I couldn't help thinking as I watched those photos how much Max poured himself into the lives of people around him, whether it be his family, his community, his sporting organisations. Everything he did was for people. He was hardworking, he was generous and community-minded. He's been called a workaholic, and many of his working years were spent in employment at the APPM. He loved a spot of fishing, he loved his garden, it was always beautifully tended. And for a time he worked at that wonderful Ridgeley establishment, Sargent's. One of my earliest memories as a child in Ridgeley was heading down to Sargent's. He loved country music, and we're grateful for the talent of the music artists whose music we hear today for Max. He was always there to help a friend out, and anything that a mate needed doing, he would be the first person to put his hand up to say, "I'll be there." As I thought about Max's life and how he worked so hard, as many in that era did, I thought it was because of his great love for his family. Those few extra dollars meant that life was just that little bit more comfortable for them, that he could afford to buy that block of land with his dad for the shack at Scamander, where other members of the Denny clan had shacks, where memories and stories and adventures cemented their place in their lives. He saw that long-term value. For Wayne and Kylie, Joanne and Darren, Max's children and their partners, your dad raised you well. He was a wonderful example for you. And although he sometimes didn't say so, you saw the light, you saw the pride in his eyes. Treasure that. For Amy and Nick, Sarah and Chris, Courtney and Dan, for whom Max was a loving and proud grandfather, be grateful that his blood flows in your veins. He was a loving old pop for Harrison, Claire, Elkie and Charlie, whose arrival into this world and into Max's life was greeted with a quiet joy. No doubt, as Max welcomed each of you into his life, whether it was his children, your partners, grandchildren or great-grandchildren, as he watched you grow, you filled his heart with love and a sense of leaving a wonderful legacy to the generations to follow. To his remaining siblings, Dick, Ken, Beverly and Ray, Max has been a part of your earliest life and memories. Your closeness as a family has been legendary, and I can only imagine the sadness of all of you, Max's family, as you saw him grow frail and illness and pain take over his life. As you all know, a couple of years ago, Max's health deteriorated and he moved into care at Umina Park. His family is so grateful for their kindness and care of Max over these past few years. And I know Joanne has also mentioned many people who visited and stayed in touch with Max in those last years where so many are forgotten as they move into care. Thank you to each of you that played that part in Max's life. Max wasn't the sort of person you'd find in church every Sunday, but he lived his life with integrity, hard work, generosity, commitment to his wife, his family and his local community, who in turn respected him. The numbers here today demonstrate that. He raised his children with those values, and no doubt he himself grew up in a family that taught those values. He wasn't one to say much about what he believed, but we know he used to love to watch songs of praise on a Sunday morning. For many of us, like Max, those beautiful old tunes and their words still have resonance and meaning. We recognise that we've done all we can in this life for Max as we prepare to release him from our care into the care of a loving God and say our most final of goodbyes to Max. I want to read the words of the Lord's Prayer, and you're welcome to say them along with me if you would so like to do. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, for ever and ever. Amen. Our carriers Wayne, Joanne, Sarah, Courtney, Darren and Barry, having been entrusted with the honour of bearing Max on this most final of journeys. As they come forward and we prepare to leave this place and move through to the Burney Lawn Cemetery, ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand?
North to Alaska, go north for Russia's home. North to Alaska, go north to Russia's home. Big Sam left Seattle in the year of 92 with George Pratt, his partner, and brother Billy too. They crossed the Yukon River and found the Bonanza Gold below that old white mountain, just a little southeast of Nome. Sam crossed the majestic mountains to the valleys far below. He talked to his team of huskies as he mushed on through the snow, with the northern lights a-running wild in the land of the midnight sun. Yes, Sam McCord was a mighty man in the year of 1901. Where the river is winding, big nuggets they're finding. North to Alaska, go north to Russia's own. Way up north, way up north. North to Alaska, go north to Russia's own. North to Alaska, go north to Russia's own. George turned to Sam with his gold in his hand. Said, Sam, you're looking at a lonely, lonely man. I'd trade all the gold that's buried in this land for one small band of gold to place on sweet little Jenny's hand. 'Cause a man needs a woman to love him all the time. Remember, Sam, a true love is so hard to find. I'd build for my Jenny a honeymoon home below that old white mountain, just a little southeast of Nome, where the river is winding, big nuggets they're finding. North to Alaska, go north to Russia's own. North to Alaska, go north to Russia's own. Way up north, way up north, way up north, way up north.
Sisters and brothers, this is Reverend Satchmo getting ready to beat out this mellow sermon for you. My text this evening is when the saints go marching in. Here come Brother Hickenbottom down the aisle with his trombone. Blow it, boy. Oh, when the saints go marching in, Marching in. Now when the saints go marching in. Marching in. Yes, I want to be in that number when the saints go marching in. Know it, Brother Holmes? Now when the saints go marching in, when the saints go marching in, yes, I want to be in that number when the saints go marching in.